Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome to the 11th instalment in our Ashes Cricket Player Career Mode. Today it's time for the start of the Club T20 Championship, the Midlands Shield. It seems that we are going through the motions a little bit now. We've done the one-day Midlands Shield, we've done the test match Midlands Shield. It feels like this might possibly be the final Midlands Shield, thank goodness. But I'm just trying to find out, here we go. It'll be on here somewhere. There we go, the Midlands Shield. As you can see, there's been the test season, so we finished 5th in that. Then we have the one-day season, which we finished 3rd in and finished actually on top, but just on count back meant we didn't get to the final. And then, of course, we have the 2020 Championships. Now, my idea is I don't think we'll be required for much of this, as we're number 5 in the batting, so unless we have a terrible lineup, we shouldn't really be needed. So hopefully this is just going to be a highlights video. I'm going to try and get through all the 5 games in this episode, but if we don't, we don't. If we play a bigger role than expected, then of course we'll do it episode by episode. But I'm just going to do a highlights package, I think, if possible. So I will see you guys if and when we are needed in this match. But if we aren't needed, of course, I will let you know how the game gets on. Well, we come to the crease a little bit earlier than I expected, actually. We're only 7 overs in this first match against Stourbridge. We elected to bat after winning the toss, and after 7 overs, we are 49 for 3. The teams stayed exactly the same for this game, so we're still in at number 5. So, we are going to take quite a role in this game. Although, of course, the objective isn't necessarily in these matches to stay in for the full 12 overs, so it's just to hit the runs, which we're going to do now. A quick 2, I think that will be. Yep, that's a good start for us. 2 off the first ball, we won't complain there. Of course, it's all about runs in these matches, but if we can get something like a quick 50 in any of these games, I think that'd be brilliant just to add to the collection. But just a bit of batting experience. It ain't going to hurt to hit a few more aggressive shots from time after time. Again, another 2 there. That fielder is just so ill-used there. He should be getting some of these quite short and even threatening the single. I don't know what fielding position that's called, but the fielder there needs to be moved. Mid-wicket, there it is, of course, mid-wicket. That fielder is just so useless. And this bowler, to be honest, even though he took a wicket the first ball of the over, he's a little bit useless himself. But that's wide, even though it's not classed so wide. It's certainly wide of the crease, which means we'd have to go a long way to try and get to that one. But 4 deliveries in to our innings, and we're on 4 for 4 at the moment, funnily enough. But 2 stupid deliveries, in my opinion. We're never going to get out to those, but 4 and an over isn't really enough for this sort of cricket. But McCalman's certainly going for it. 24 off 11. I mean, I don't believe that that's not wide. That's 3 not good deliveries, not positive deliveries, I think, there. And I don't really think that's good enough. But McCalman has scored 9 off the over so far. I think we're going to have to start getting a boundary at least here, just to threaten something. That'll do, though. No, we're just going to stay because we don't want a single. To be honest, I'm more than happy to let McCalman go for the rest of the over. Well, the rest of the next over. But again, 2 6s from McCalman. I like that left-hand side. I fancy that. Just 1 ball in this over left then until the halfway stage. And, ooh, straight past us. It was a wide, though. So we get another chance. Some nasty balls this Ducati has bowled. Sounds like a bike manufacturer. Oh, dear. Luckily, that was very low. Very lucky there. That was very low, but any higher would have been out. But 2 runs there nonetheless. 3 runs off technically 1 delivery, so we're not going to complain at that. Plus the fact McCalman's back on strike for the next. Can't be better. Is McCalman going to be in though by the next time we're here? He's not. He's just been bowled by Raf, but 46 off 26. Now we know that Topley from previous episodes is a player that's got some real aggressiveness about him. So hopefully he can last quite a while, but that's a good start to the over. We'll take 2 there. That'll do. 80 for 4. The projected total is 141. Ideally, we want to get something closer to 160, which requires an 8-run rate. So we could have really been doing at being 80 to 4 at this stage last over to give us that 8. But that's 3 off our first delivery. So hopefully Topley can get on with it and get a few boundaries now, just to make sure we get a few more and hopefully get that projected run rate up to about 8. I mean, we're getting closer. Topley scored another 6 there, so 9 off the over. But it is very tricky. It's tricky to play 4s and 6s. I mean, if you hit a bad shot, you know, you're out or you get a single. But you hit a good shot and there's a player on the boundary already, and these are just nasty balls. I mean, you can understand why the bowlers are bowling them. Of course, they want to limit the run rate, but sometimes you can't just whack everything. But not the best innings for us so far. Not exactly the T20 way, possibly. So we are going to hit this one, and it's gone. Well, we went for one, and we've been clean bowled by Raf. Not the best start to our 2020 career whatsoever. We've been clean bowled too early, and yeah. Oh well, not really bothered by that. Not at all. It doesn't set out a good case for us, but I'm not too bothered, and we're out for 9 off 12, and hopefully the team can win this match. Well, Stourbridge were just much quicker than us at running. I mean, to be fair, they only really won by about an overs runs in 18.4 overs, but they had some really good innings. 250s in there as well. Topley did really well, actually, after we got out to get 68 off 34, but we didn't do well enough. The openers didn't do well enough, unfortunately, with 13 and 7 respectively, and Wang didn't do well as well. So we've got to consider the team for the next one, but unfortunately that's one loss at the start of this T20 Championship. Well, they've changed the team. Do you remember McLean and O'Neill from the previous episodes, about episode 5 and 6? They're back. Topley and Wang, Topley's still there, but Wang's been dropped, and so's the other wicketkeeper. I can't remember what his name was, but look at this. After 8 overs, 48 for 4. We're really not the best 2020 side, are we? Bates and Vessel's doing quite poorly again. McLean out for 11. McCalman 3 off 2, so he's only come into the crease as well. And O'Neill out on his return for a duck. Now surely Keogh, after getting 2 wickets for 2 runs this over, won't get us out the first ball, will he? Well, we've learned our lessons from last time out, and we've just defended that one, but I have to say, what a terrible collapse this has been. And it's clear we're just not one of the best teams in this division at all, if we're dropping for that much. But McCalman's really gone for it, to be fair. A 6 and a 1 there. Even though the projected score will be something like, what, about 130 at this point? But that's a nice shot. Unfortunately, there's a fielder there. If that wasn't the case, it would have gone to the boundary. But we'll take 2 nonetheless. We get 2 every ball. It's 12 and over. We're not going to complain about that. But unfortunately, in this style of cricket, you're not going to get 2 every over because bowlers like Keogh like to bowl the odd nasty ball. We'll go for the other 2 there. That might be a risk. Oh, it's going to our side, but we're okay. 2 each ball so far. It's risky though, but you've got to take those risks in T20 sometimes. 2 balls left in the over. 4 off 3 for us so far. Oh, who's that going to? I was about to say, I didn't know McCalman's running. Get to the other end, son. I didn't know that was going to, hence why we had a few jitters, but McCalman didn't run for a while there. We'll just watch his last ball of this over. We might go for a boundary at some point, but I'm not quite confident to loft the ball just yet. He's gone for it though, hasn't he? Blimey. Has it gone to the boundary? No, it hasn't, but it might as well go for the 3. Oh, it's going to be tight. We'll get it though, and McCalman's on strike for the next over, so it's a win-win really. It's not that I don't want to be on strike, I just think that other batsmen are probably more effective than us. And I'd hate for us to be the reason why we lose the match. But as you can see, 7 off the over. Ooh, it's a nasty field here. Really is. Oh dear. Well, that was possibly the worst lofted shot ever, but it served its purpose and we got the one there. And unfortunately for our run rate, you could probably say here we are back on strike. But finally a fast bowler's in, so we can, I'll approve of that. I think we're just going to have to hit it straight down the ground here in order to get a boundary anyway. That's a nice shot. Just the single though there, I think. Yeah, just the single. It was coming to the bowler's end and there was no point going for the 2, as McCallum would have been out. That would have been a big shame. Another 2 there off the over. Blimey, it wasn't that brilliant, was it? That wasn't. And the projected total at the moment is 135. Well, not great. Good shot. It's gone past that fielder slightly. Oh, it's going to be a risk for 2. No, we're not going to go for it. We don't want to get McCalman out, as he's our most effective batsman at the moment. So, you know, it's a little bit harsh to try and get him out. But I don't know where to hit this. Really tough. That'll do, though. Oh, it's going to go straight to the fielder. We're going to be out here, aren't we? We are. We've gone. Well, two disastrous innings in a row. And the first ball we go for it, there's a fielder there on the wicket. And that is another wicket lost. And I just have to say, we're not the best at 2020. It's not a format I particularly like. So that's unfortunate. 2 really lacklustre scores, and that's the end of our innings. Probably the end of our involvement in this game. May as well see the end out here. But I think that Maidenhead have beat us as well. Have we lost? Yeah, we've lost by 8 wickets, and it was even quicker they got it that time. 134th, right? I mean, our highest scoring batsman was 37, whereas theirs was 89. Really poor, and I think if we lose the next match, we will be completely out of the T20 Championship. Well, this time it's a bit more shaken up at least. Kington batted first. They got 183 for 5, and we come in 11 overs in, and we're 86 for 4. So we require about 90 odd or 50 odd. Patrick O'Neill's just come in as well. McLean and McCalman did well, but look at Bates and Vessels. They were out within the first over, which is bonkers. But we need 98 off 51. That's pretty much 2 a ball. So it requires a big match from ourselves and from O'Neill, because we've talked before how this team doesn't really bat down. But we'll take the single on that first ball, I think. So that's 97 off 50. So it's a what? It's a, no, 97 off 50. So we need a strike rate of 194, technically. But 93 off 48. Needed a required run rate of about 12. So that's looking again at about 2 every ball. So we're going to take the chance and try and get 2 here. We should be fine. And if Patrick O'Neill sticks to the same, he's on 10 for 5. So if he sticks to that strike rate, which is a 200 strike rate, we should be fine. But of course, it's not going to be all that easy. Going to be some balls where we get a 4, some balls where we get a 6, some balls when we don't get anything. Some balls when we just get the 1, some balls when we get a tricky 2, and that's another 2 there. Brilliant run in there. I didn't quite think we'd make it. There's some nasty fields been set out here, really. Quite cleverly on the boundary. Nice. We'll be taking another 2 here. We will. Oh, it's going to be close. He's just there, though. We're fine. Another 2 there. Again, 12 and over, and we're fine. But I think over here, on the leg side, is where we're going to get our best advantage of a boundary. But, of course, it's wherever the... Ooh, that's a chance. Too late there. It's wherever the bowler bowls it, but umpire not interested in that call. So that wipes off the 12 runs off the over, unfortunately. So we'll get another 2 here. I mean, 10 off this over will be fine. Of course, that's what we're projected to get at the moment. 8 off this one. So far. And we can get into the hundreds here. Oh, they've changed the field round. Interesting. Going for a square leg and a mid-wicket either side. Well, cover and forward point. But technically, it's what it is the other side. So we've got a square leg and mid-wicket and forward point and mid-end cover. So that's interesting. Just going to defend that one, and that's 8 off the over, which isn't too bad, to be honest. With 8 boundaries, I think you'd take that any day of the week. And Patrick O'Neill just with a single there, so 84 required off 41. That looks a little bit more healthy, but still very tricky. This is just to get 1 win in the championship, but that's a nice shot. Just the 2 here, but there isn't really a cut through for a boundary. And that you know, it's realistic because of course, why would you have a gap in the field? It just seems bonkers. They've set out this field really well, I have to say. Just the one though here, I think. No, it was going to be a straight impact on the stumps. So I'd rather take the wrong 1 run than risk O'Neill being out. But 4 off the over off those 3 balls. How did O'Neill do off the rest? Well, there's 14. Blimey, we're 14 in now. I think we were well. Has he played an over extra? I'm not particularly sure. Oh, didn't carry though. Luckily there. Well, that's interesting. But I'm sure that O'Neill's obviously not scored so many there because we need 79 now off 35. Well, we're going to need some boundaries, aren't we? Jesus. Not the best there. It's not really the type you want. You certainly don't want to be averaging one off. Oh God, if I can speak. 1 off every 2 balls, particularly. But Patrick O'Neill with 4, 6 and a 1. We'll take that. Brilliant. That's a bit wide. Will it be called as a wide? No, it won't. Interesting. But what's that? 12 off the over. That's more like what we need, to be fair. And O'Neill is back on strike again. Just the single, though, there. 66 off 27. Blimey. I don't really think our contribution's helping that much. Another single here. Unfortunately, though, I mean, we proved in the first match, if we go for it, we just get out. So is there really much point going for it? I'm not sure. 1 run's better than none. 65 needed now off 24. It just seems so unassailable at this point. Seems crazy. We've gone for it again. Luckily, though, we didn't hit it as far that time, but ultimately, if we had, it would have been straight out. It just proves, I mean, we need a run rate of 16 now. He's got 3 off that one, so we need to be getting 4 off. Well, we need to be getting more than that. We need to be getting 6 off the next 2 balls. Just isn't going to happen, especially when we miss shots like that. But a wide will help us. That's not going to be too bad, at least. That looks like a decent gap in the field, doesn't it? Depending where the bowler bowls it, of course, here. That looks brilliant. Oh, didn't get past the fielder, though. Gutting. It was a real nice pace on that. Oh, dear. If that had gone past the field, it had gone straight to the boundary. Quite a quick one, that was. Wow, and overall so later, though. Oh, Topley's in now. 27 off 7. Well, we're just going to have to go for it here, aren't we? Oh, well, we went for it. We went for it, and we are straight out. Well, amazingly, that's our top score, isn't it? Our top score off the 3 games, 16. You can tell that T20's not my bag, and we're out again there. Well, I don't think it's going to be enough now, although it's going to be close. So we're going to watch this ball, but, well, over by over. And no, it's not going to be enough. And, yeah. Kingston win by 17 runs, and to be honest, I can't see us winning any of the games in this series. What are the umpires doing? Look at them. The facial expressions just don't change. Deary me. Right, well, we've got 2 games to go. Hopefully we can get them all into this episode. Because I tell you what, based off what we've done so far, it's not our personal contribution, but it certainly is contributing to it. We ain't going to win a thing here. You know, I said last match that, well, some of it is down to us, the fact that we are losing some of these matches. Look at this. Not even 4 overs have gone and we've lost 4 wickets. 27 for 4. I mean, what are we supposed to do from here? Honestly. I know. Well, we need 154 off 98. They've batted first this time. They would have got, let me do my maths quickly, 180, well, just 180 if we need 181 to win the match. But, dearie me, 27 for 4. I mean, what hope have we got if nobody else got anything? Jesus. Right, can we hit this one depending on where he puts it? Ooh, too late on the timing there. And 2 dot balls there. McCallum with a single. Some clear gaps down here because of the power play. Let's see what we're going to go for here. Ooh, we just missed that one. We're not very good at these shots. We just think, well, the problem is each shot's got to go to the boundary, really, unfortunately. And we can't play that sort of cricket. You know, I like to take my chances when they come, not at any other point. You know, if there's not a chance there, don't take it. That's my opinion. And sometimes with T20, you've just got to take chances, and that's just stupid.
He'll get 2 for that. Great shot.
And bearing in mind, our batsmen's not the best in the world either. You know, we're playing at sort of town level, so not even county level. And well, our batsmen's not the best, and we're going to be out here. We went for it. Oh, he's dropped it. Unbelievable. Well, we've got out of jail very much free there. We just went for the lofted shot. It was mistimed. And unbelievably, from what would be an easy catch for Redditch to be 32 for 5, they've dropped me. Well, that was probably the replica of us fielding. 45 for 5 now, bloody hell. McCalman's gone as well. Will we carry our bat? Oh dear. That would be funny, wouldn't it? Good shot there though, but because of the way the fielders are set out, the power play's over now. We have got 2 there, mind. I mean, the required run rate isn't so much, so if Topley can hold up his end of the bargain and start smashing them round a bit, we might not do badly here. Although we've got to stay in the crease, which is something that really we've been... we've lost a wicket on an average of about 1 every 1.5 overs, not even that. So, based off that, we won't last very long. But we're not doing badly here. A few runs here and there. It all adds to the stats, doesn't it? Our average might not be the best, but then... I'm sure with the scores we've been getting, the likes of 160 odd, that's probably not the best average either. So it makes sense for us to be getting probably an average of about 18, which reflects the whole team, to be honest. But a run of 2s here, a run of duo runs, isn't going to hurt us whatsoever in any way. Wouldn't mind a 6 at one point, but we need to just stay in, really. It's our opportunity to try and guide the team now. That's a nice shot, but unfortunately, the better you hit the shot, the quicker it'll go to the fielder, which is never an advantage. Really, sometimes you don't hit it as well, so it travels a little bit slower throughout the outfield. But sometimes you can't do much about that. But Topley's still in at the end of the over. I mean, he contributed a lot there, didn't he? Not. A total of none. That's nice, though. Don't get their fielder. Run after it, but don't get it. Brilliant, our first boundary, straight down the line. Ideal hitting. I like a good Yorkie, you know exactly where you play with it and you know exactly where you stand. The fielder tried to run after it, but that's a boundary for us and a good setting for the start of this over. Can we repeat it? I don't know. Is he going to come in with the same sort of ball? I wouldn't think so, and I knew he wouldn't. And of course he wouldn't. Well, I said we'd be out next time, and we've gone for it, and we're out. Well, so much for leading this innings. We got our first boundary, got swept up in it, and he bowled a cheeky bouncer. We went for the reverse swing, and we are reduced to 56 for 6. Well, there's no chance we're going to win from here. And amazingly, we've got 252 odd. Well, fair play. We only lost by 28 runs, and Topley really commanding the innings. Getting more than anybody else, I think. I don't know quite how we got that many, to be honest. Baffling. One extra. Well, I don't know how on earth we got to that. But we are 4-0 down in these matches, and I told you it wouldn't last very long. This team is abysmal at 2020, and we've got one lame game, definitely. One game left to try and salvage something in this competition. Well, there's no coincidence that we're not required when we actually win. Unbelievable. Well, that's brilliant. I thought, oh, we're going to get in a minute, but Huntington, who batted first, had a really shocking innings, quite resemblant and reminiscent of ours. 111 for 9 they were all out for, but a good start from Vessels, 53, nice to see him do well. Josh Hale, who's the new opener for us, that our captain O'Neill's brought in. Hale with 19 off 18, McCallum with a duck, McLean 18 off 13, but there, because of how poorly Huntington did, we weren't required. So that is the end of the T20 Championship. I knew we'd get to the end of it in this video. I apologise there's not been much cricket because we've been dreadful, but I'm not particularly sure what happens now because there isn't anything on the calendar after this. I hope we don't get the same Midlands Shield. I hope there's something a bit different, but I hesitate. I don't quite know. But let's see nonetheless. So, season's complete. The Midlands Shield's finished in 4th position. I don't know how the hell we've got to that, but nonetheless. Is there actually going to be any event scheduled? Oh, is it just going to go back to... Blimey, look at that! Cup coming the 20th of April next year. Oh, dear. Well, would you believe that? Surely, before that point, we're going to have to be called up for something. Surely. The teams we play for, well, Wolverhampton's the only team we play for. My player, selection stage, so we've got no chance of getting into any of it. So are we going to have to wait until next season? Oh, dear. Well, I'm going to advance. I'm just going to sit here and wait for it to advance, see if we get any offers. But I certainly don't want to play these games all over again. Especially not to really get a place in any squad. Blimey. Surely we'd be called up for something. Just out of the game's kind heart, but it doesn't look like we will. But to not play any cricket for a year, that's bonkers. That is ridiculous, but I'll see you in April if that's what it takes. Well, I might as well cut back, because I think we'll be here forever, to be honest, waiting for a call-up. I don't think we're going to get called up for anything, which is just astounding. We're going to have to play another season of 3-dayers, 1-dayers, T20 matches. To even be called to Warwickshire. I don't know whether it's worth it. I don't know. Obviously, it's not like, oh god, we're going to end the series, but this is a bit of a pain, isn't it? Having to play these matches. Let me know what you think in the comments anyway, folks. Do you think we should ought to play up until we get a call up for Warwickshire? Do you think one more season he's going to be able to do it? I don't know, possibly. You'll have to let me know in the comments. But anyway, folks, I've been TIJ Gaming. Thank you very much for watching. This has been episode 11 of our Ashes Cricket Player Career Mode. But until the next time, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.